So basically, y'all end up moving to Atlanta and working at DARP and hooking up with Dallas Austin. How did you make that connection?
Man, it was crazy, man. Shout out to Paul Hill, man. So Paul, I'm gonna tell you what happened, man. So what happened was Randy Rand that was signing Jam and Lewis at first.
Hmm.
I guess him and Dallas met some kind of way. So Dallas went and got them a whole bunch of work, man. And then one morning, man, he had a terrible accident and he got decapitated, man. He was coming from the studio one morning and fell asleep on the bike
Oh,
on a motorcycle. And a semi hit him, man, and they had to have a closed casket on him, man.
dog.
So Paul, he is from Detroit. So Randy Rand was from Detroit too. So he ended up taking his place. So Paul was like, "Hey man, you know what?" He was like, "Man, Dallas looking for some producers, man." And I was like, "Oh yeah." So that's when we took the hoopty down there, man. You know what I mean? Ball tires and all, and we ended up staying with Paul.
uh,
And then Paul was working at Dallas studio, but it wasn't all the way done yet.
hmm
He only had the A and B room done. You know what I
hmm
mean? So when we got in there, when Paul was like, "Hey man, you know what? I gotta leave, but I'm gonna come back." So we was just there. You know what I mean? Just sleeping in the car. So we was trying to get up there to Dallas, man. They wouldn't let us in until this dude named his partner named Dave. So
hmm
Dave came out and they was having a party. So he was going to go do a liquor run, right?
hmm
So we met Dave and we said, "Hey man, you know what, man? Hey, we ain't trying to rob you. We ain't trying to nothing, man. We just two dudes, two little dudes from Detroit, by way of Chicago, by way of Peoria. We just trying to, man, just make it." He was like, "Oh," say, "Get in the truck, man." Hey, he let us get in the Jeep, not even knowing who we were,
We
man.
were,
So
dog.
we played the records, man. And he was like, "Don't play no slow joints." So we look at each other. We was like, "Don't play no slow joints." Are y'all? Hold on, man. Maybe y'all smoking something, man. We was
Hmm.
like, so because we was taught on slow joints.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
that was really our strong. I mean, we could do anything, but like our strong point was slow joints.
yeah, yeah.
So we didn't play him. We just played all the up tempo joints. And then he was like, "Yeah, man, Dallas gonna like y'all, man." He was like, "Man," he said, "So come on in there with me." So we came in there. I don't know if you remember Arrested Development.
Yeah, rest of
The,
them, of course.
yeah, they was there. TLC, like all the people from Detroit, from Atlanta was there. So
Yeah.
we put our stuff in. They start dancing around. Dallas had a hoodie on, and he wouldn't say nothing. He just he whispered in Dave's ear, and Dave was like, "Hey, yo, we wasn't even Tim and Bob back then." He was like, "Yo, Bob, Tim." He was like, "Hey, go in this room right here." So we
Hmm.
went in there, man, and then we like, so they was taking a long time. So then me and Bob was like, "Hey, man, who you gonna call, man? If you know what I mean, if he say they don't like our stuff, man, I think because it was taking too long, you know what I mean." So we was like, so Bob was like, "Man, you know what? I can call my uncle, man, probably get 100." I was like, "I could probably call my mom and get 60, man." So we just trying to figure out the way how we can get gas money to get back to the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So Dallas walked in, took his hoodie off. He was like, "Hey man, y'all two of the coldest dudes, man, that done walked up in the studio, man." So I'm like, where the trick camera at, man? Because mind you, man, we coming off the floor in Detroit
Yeah.
and he saying this to us. He was like, "Hey man, I got Tevin Campbell. He started naming all these people he got, man." We was like, "Man, you gotta be kidding, man."
Nah, cause
You know what I
Dallas
mean?
at that time he was the man, man.
Man, dog, let me tell you, man, Dallas, man, he had won producer of the year in Billboard that year. So
Hmm.
that was 93. So he
Hmm.
won producer of the year, Hot 100. He had like about like 7 songs. He had like 7 songs on the chart, man. It was crazy, man. So we was tripping. So he was like, "I'm gonna go." He said, "Man, I got to go to New York because I'm about to start my label division in New York, the East Coast of Rowdy." That was
Hmm.
his label, Rowdy. It was like, "I'll be back in about 2 weeks." He said, "In the meantime, y'all take this little room right here, and I'm gonna buy some." He said, "Tomorrow there'll be some equipment in this room right here." So he's like, "Hey man, whatever, man, let's go." He was like, "All right, cool." Shook our hand and walked away. And then I
Hmm.
thought about it. I'm like, we're sleeping in our car, man. So I ran up to Dallas, right? I was like, I thought he was gonna put us in a hotel, right? So I was like, "Hey, yo, D, man, we sleeping in our car, man." He was like, "Oh yeah." He said, "Okay, man." He said, "You know what? There's some bean bags over there, man. We gonna sleep."
Ah.
So man, we slept on them bean bags, man, for about a month, man. We didn't even
Hey,
care, man, because like
hey,
I said, we was like,
you
we
ODing on
was
the
on
music, man.
yeah, we
You
came from the
ODing on the music.
floor. We was like, man, we don't even care, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because I ain't gonna get that much sleep anyway because
yeah, nah.
I
You
can't
doing what
even believe
you
what's going on. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
you doing what you
Dude,
want to do. Yeah.
we didn't see daytime for like probably like 2 weeks. The 2 weeks he was in New York. We stayed in the studio, man. So when he
Yeah.
came back, we had like 40 or 50 records done. So he just picked them. He was like, all right, this. He said, y'all do this on Perfect Gentleman. Y'all do this on Shanice. Y'all do this on Johnny Gill. And then he just kept going on and on and on. And then he said, hey, man, I want y'all to start with Another Bad Creation first. He was like, because I don't want to do it. I want y'all to do it. So we was like,
So
what? And
he
then
basically giving y'all the playbook and just letting y'all just.
yeah, it was crazy, man. Hey,
Oh, that's
Dallas, man, I'm
wild.
telling you, shout out to Dallas, man. He really got us popping, man.
So
And then one day he came in when we was working on Another Bad Creation. He came in the room and he was like, "Hey, man, you know what, man? Y'all want to help me out, man, with TLC?" We was like, "What?" We was like, "What?" He was like, "Man, I got to do Get It Up, man, for the Poetic Justice soundtrack, man." He was like, "So I know y'all love Jam and Lewis, man. So that come from that camp over there, because Prince really did it, but it sounded like all them. So I knew it backwards, man. Get It Up. So you know what I mean. It was easy for me. And then he was like, "Hey, man, you know what, man?" He was like, I don't know about." He said, "Man, I'm about to work on Boys the Mix because Wanye came down and he was doing the backgrounds to ABC because they was getting a little older.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
instead of Deborah doing all the backgrounds, he wanted both of them to do the background. So we met Wanye, and Wanye told Gerald about me and Bob, Gerald Busby. So that's
Busby.
how
Yeah.
he started managing us. And then one day he just called and was like, "Hey, man, you know what, man?" He was like, "Man, how would y'all like to come to Philly, man, and work with Boys and Men?" We was like, they just came off the end of the road. They was the
Yeah,
biggest
yeah, yeah,
artists
yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Name anybody, man. They was bigger than them. So we
Mm-hmm.
like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, and I'm gonna talk about something else with y'all." So he ended up managing us, man. At the end,
That's
he
crazy.
started managing us, and then he got us on everything on Motown.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was a crazy time then, man. I'm telling you, man. It
Hey,
was
so
really crazy.
from doing my research, even that period that y'all was at Dart was like a 3-4 year period.
Yeah,
Y'all, I mean, just y'all accolades at DARP alone is like, oh, from the
man. We went. You know what? We went crazy, man. It was from '93 to '96 or '97, maybe.
yeah,
You know what
because
I'm
like
saying?
the TLC stuff, the boys, the men, in developing Monica, like you say, discovering 112.
Right.
That
Destiny's Child. They came. Daryl Simmons, man. I'm gonna tell you, we was working over at the studio Doppler. I don't know if it's still
yeah,
there.
yeah, I remember. I know what.
Oh,
Well, it's
Doppler
not
still there.
Doppler anymore, but yeah,
So he came over there. He said, "Hey, man, I
and
met these
Buckhead,
girls." He said, "Yeah, exactly." He was like,
right,
"Hey, man,
Buckhead.
he was like, I met these girls, man." He was like, "Man, you know I don't do up tempos, man. So I want y'all to do all the up tempos. I'm gonna do all the slow ones." We was like, "All right." So we come to the studio the next day, man, and we had a couple songs for him. So we were showing them the songs. So we didn't know who sung what. We didn't even know. So
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce would always go into the booth and all of them be in the back just talking about boys, man. They were scared, man. They didn't even want to sing when Beyonce sang. That's how ahead she was, man. Like she
Oh,
was only 12 years old singing like she's singing right now.
that's
Believe it or
crazy.
not. At 12, dog.
That's
So
crazy.
we did all the up tempos and then we did about like 2 slow joints. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And then what happened was maybe about like 2 of them ended up on that first album. So we ended up giving that, helping getting a deal because we only knew one A&R, and that was Randy Jackson. He was over at Columbia. Yeah. So he's like, "Man," and we had 112, so their name was Forte at first when we put them together at first.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like, "The guys is okay, man." He was like, "They need a little work, man, but these girls, man, yo, man." So he's like, "Yo, you dig them?" And he was like, "Yeah, man." He said, "Y'all want to do a showcase?" He's like, "Yeah." So he's like, "Set it up." So we
Yeah.
told Matthew, man, Beyonce's dad,
Mm-hmm.
and we all went to New York, man, and we started the first song, and then when we start going to the second song, they just cut us off, shut the doors. They wanted to do a deal right there. That's how they got their deal, man.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's crazy, huh?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Crazy, man. Yeah.
So shit, I like right here. Yeah. Count. What's going on, everybody? Do you guys need music equipment? Well, guess what? In my description box, there's a link to my Z-Zounds account. And at Z-Zounds, you guys can get all the equipment in my studio and more. And guess what? You don't have to have all the money up front. They can spread the payments out over 12 months. And they're not doing no background or no credit check. All you need is your debit card and ID. And you good from there. Man, y'all check them out. Go get some new stuff so you can make some new stuff.